Hey everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm getting on today, obviously, to do some tarot reading. I want to take a look at Clarence Thomas. Oh my God. So I want to take a look at Clarence Thomas. I also want to take a look at the possible poisoning incident with Roman Abramovich and the two Ukrainian negotiators. And then I want to take a look at Belarus because I saw online today apparently that Belarus shot a missile into Ukraine, which would basically mean that they're part of this war. So I want to take a look at least those three things today, and we'll see where we are with time after that. But let's start out with Clarence Thomas. So, oh my God, Democrats, have had a problem with him for a really long time. He's just not a great Supreme Court justice. He doesn't talk. He doesn't ask any questions. He's just made really, weird decisions and, just not a great Supreme Court justice. But on top of that, his wife, she is a conservative activist, and she's been one for a really long time. And she's just, she's kind of wackadoodle, right? She's done some really weird, questionable things over the course of the years. And people have always given Clarence Thomas side-eye about her because her behavior really reflects poorly on him. She's just a real partisan. The argument, of course, is that she has every right to her opinion and it shouldn't reflect on him. Well, now we're also learning, of course, that the Supreme Court doesn't really have any ethic rules that they're obligated to follow, which would be one reason why Clarence Thomas has never, ever recused himself in any case in his entire career, which is one of the, questionable things about him. So, as you all know, Ginny Thomas has been texting Mark Meadows. There's at least 29 texts texting Jared Kushner, and she's just basically a QAnon conspiracy theorist, was fighting to get the election overturned, really pestering Mark Meadows, frankly, about overturning the election. And, lots of people have commented over the years that, she might be a little wackadoodle. So let's take a look at Clarence Thomas. People are screaming for him to resign, retire. Oh my God. And if he can't do that, then impeach him, right? So let's start with Clarence Thomas. He's been recently hospitalized. I don't think he's returned to the court yet. So let's start off with a general look. I'm shuffling here. General look at Clarence Thomas. Where is he right now? How's he feeling? Just a general look at Clarence. I'll just bring you down, see if I can get you to see the spread today. So Clarence Thomas, just a general reading on Clarence. All right. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start out, I'll bring it back up here. I'm going to start, he represents, this question is sort of representing as the world. So the world signifies a grand ending and a brand new beginning. For me, a lot of times this card is just pointing to, Clarence Thomas's name is in the media right now. He's always been on the world, on the stage, but he's really in focus, right? The whole world is looking at him, questioning him, wondering what he's doing. Everybody's paying attention to Clarence Thomas. So media is on him, the scrutiny, right? All eyes are on Clarence Thomas, asking questions, what's going on. So he's on the world stage. Now, it is an ending and a beginning, but unlike, say, the death card, it's not generally a harsh ending, but it's a big ending. end of an era, okay? An end of an era. So I know a lot of people wish it was the end of a Clarence Thomas era, but that's how this card is presenting. I'm going to call it maybe a nod, maybe a little indication of the end of an era for him. That's what I'm asking about, and that's how it's presenting. His challenge. Ooh, he's isolated, okay? I think I've gotten this before for Clarence Thomas. He's isolated. And I feel like he's most isolated on the Supreme Court bench. Now, granted, there's only two liberal justices right now, right? Sotomayor and Kagan. All the others are conservative. But now Ketanji Brown Jackson's coming, although that's probably going to be a while. So what I'm saying is, even though it's mostly a conservative bench right now, I think even the conservative justices are putting some distance between them and him. You know, Kavanaugh and Coney Barrett, they really got in, walked a knife's edge to get in that court. Neither one of them really should have been put in place, right? Coney Barrett, completely unqualified. Kavanaugh with, assault and lying and, just horrible, right? So the last thing they need is to have further scrutiny on them with any association with Clarence Thomas, right? So I'm feeling on the Supreme Court, he's feeling isolated, he's being distanced. I think people are giving him the side eye. And yeah, it's because, dude, were you part, your wife's, part of this January 6th thing? Was she fiddling around with this insurrection? I remember reports coming out that she was donating money, that she paid for buses, things like that. So I think he's a bit of a pariah. He's definitely a pariah to Democrats and liberals, always has been. But even conservatives are like, they might be coming out to support him on paper, so to speak. But his challenge is that he's isolated and alone. There's not a lot of support for him, okay? Not a lot of support. So in the sky, what is above him? What is he going to have to come face to face with? And this is temperance, which, is moderation and balance. Clarence Thomas, by all accounts, is a very subdued, under the radar kind of personality on the Supreme Court. He doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't ask a lot of questions. So in a way, I guess I could see that he's already kind of moderate, not politically moderate, but just behaviorally, right? He's not a loud, rabble-rousing kind of extremist personality, I guess. But that's an outward display. Inwardly, I think that that's a problem, that he's not a moderate, that he's not in balance. Basically what I'm getting here is that internally, his political views, like his wife, he's an extremist. He holds extremist views. He holds unorthodox opinions on the Constitution. He's an extremist in his philosophy, okay? And so I think what he's going to have to come face to face with is that element of him. So although this card means moderation, it is telling us, look at him and his views. Is he moderate? Is he well balanced? He's going to come face to face with those questions and those people looking at him to see that. In other words, again, he's under scrutiny. His extremist viewpoints might come more and more under scrutiny. He's going to have to come face to face with his personal level of moderation and balance, I guess, is what I'm getting from that. Foundationally, what's underneath him, is a 7 of Swords, okay? So this is the card of stealing and theft, trying to get away with some stuff, ripping off your comrades, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think foundationally, this is kind of pointing to the big steal, right? The big heist, as Ginny put it. The election fraud debacle. I think this, foundationally, yeah, he's kind of all on board with that. So this is, opposites here. This is an extreme viewpoint, believing in the big lie, believing that, it was a heist, stopping the steal, right? Which is opposite of moderation. So these are the foundation and the top of this reading for Clarence. So this, again, just reinforcing that internally his views are not moderate. He's an extremist. He has these weird views, and he bought into the stop the steal along with his wife because they're best friends. They're best friends. And, they're of a kind, right? So foundationally, his seat on the Supreme Court, he could do some damage there if he's going to subvert democracy, try and, move the Supreme Court towards, overturning election laws, voter suppression, maybe giving victories to Trump or some of those people who, those cases that end up in the Supreme Court. So yeah, I think basically what I'm saying is his decisions as a Supreme Court justice would be in support of Stop the Steal here. Okay, so in the past, he has the Sun card. So the Sun card generally is a very great card. Hope and inspiration and joy and all those kind of things, but it also has to do with exposure. Okay, if you are laid bare, things are transparent, basically the sun is on you. Sunshine laws, right? The sun is on you. Everyone can see clearly what's in front of them. So I think this is where it's going with Clarence in the past. Everything is there to see. If you wanted to find out about Clarence Thomas and his wife, Ginny, all you have to do is a little research. You can see that information, find that information. So there's sunlight exposed on his past decisions, his past thinking, the behavior of his wife. It's all out there in the public view. It's all visible. It's all seeable. The sun is shining on it. And I think so in the past, it's all there. Moving into the future, we have the Star card. Again, generally a very positive card. I do find it interesting, the opposing, the sun is a daytime card, and of course the stars only come out at night. So there is a juxtaposition here between the light and the dark. Again, this is really talking about the not transparency, just the availability of the data. There's everything's exposed, everything's visible. With the star at night, again, I think it's just telling us again that Clarence Thomas, as a star here, is the center of attention. He is the focus. He is the light in the middle that everybody's paying attention to. Everybody's eyes are on him. And again, it's with that nighttime, again, it's just, I guess I'm feeling that people are kind of digging deep, right? How do I want to word this? They're getting deeper into his intentions, into his kind of behaviors, things that generally went on, maybe that weren't available for view, that were kind of on the down low, that were a little behind the scenes, kind of hidden from us, those things that weren't available to view in the past. Now they're getting into it, right? let me get I'm going to throw a clarifier on this one. King of Pentacles. Okay, so that's financial resources. Let me take just a second to get into this. Okay, everybody. So we're just kind of, looking up these cards here and trying to figure out what's going on. I think I got it. So the star coming up in his future is telling us that people want to heal this court. It's about healing, renewal, hope, rebalancing, okay? So I think people are looking at him as damaging to the Supreme Court, and they want to fix it. They want to heal the Supreme Court, rebalance the Supreme Court, give hope and optimism back to the Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas would be in the way of that. And with my clarifying card, which is the King of Pentacles, so the meaning here would be like, okay, you've worked your whole life, you've gotten all your resources together, you've accumulated your riches, and now maybe it's time to sit back and relax, enjoy your abundance, aka retire. So I think between this desire for healing and this desire for optimism, clarified with this, maybe it's time to take a step back and enjoy the rest of your life in relaxation. I think what these cards are saying is people are going to be really pressuring him to retire. Clarence, retire. While you still have a little bit of your reputation left, please retire. We really need to get the Supreme Court back on track, ethically, optimistically. Clarence, you need to retire. So that is kind of what I'm getting for this spread. Again, he's presenting, this whole question is presenting end of an era, start of something new, okay? He's isolated. He doesn't have a lot of support, you guys. People are seeing his behavior as kind of, if not illegal, definitely sketchy. There's questions here regarding what we know and what we don't know with the sun and the star. But all in all, what I'm getting here is people want to, the Supreme Court's broken. It's imbalanced with the conservative bias there with all those Trump appointees. They want to start, people are in despair that, that the Supreme Court's broken too. People want to fix it. One of the things to fix it is to get him the hell out. Impeachment's going to be really tough. Their best option is to force him into retirement here. Go off and enjoy all your riches with your crazy ass wife and just let us move the Supreme Court back to a healthy, bright, optimistic place that, is one of the lights of America, right? One of the stars of democracy is our Supreme Court. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. People want him out, but that's going to be hard to do against his will. So again, pressure to retire. That's what I think is coming for Clarence Thomas. Okay. So, will Clarence Thomas retire? Will he take everybody's strong advice and vacate his seat on the court just to keep what he can of his reputation? So I've heard some commentators basically said, hell no, don't even hold your breath. There is no way that he would retire with a Democratic president in office, right? He would never consent to being replaced with a liberal justice. So don't hold your breath. There's no way he's going to do it. He's got no moral sense of, needing to get out of there. There's no ethical foundation there for him to make the good decision to retire. It's just not going to happen, right? That's what I'm hearing. But you know how these people are, their reputation is everything. And if he feels like his might be trashed, he might want to get out. Or before people find out too much about his crazy ass wife, he might want to get out, right? So I think it's a good question. Will Justice Thomas retire? This would be a great time. He could totally claim it's health related. You know, he just got out of the hospital. You know, maybe he just doesn't feel like he has the strength to return. It would be a great time for him to blame his health and step aside. Will Justice Thomas retire? Will Justice Thomas retire? All right, I'll bring you down to take a look here. Will Justice Thomas retire? We'll just do a nice easy spread. Ooh. So he's feeling the pressure. He's thinking about it. Okay, let's bring it back up. Someone had commented to me the other day that I really should show me shuffling and laying the cards just so people don't think, you know, I'm being dishonest. Like, you know, I don't think this channel's really about that. I'm not trying to, you know, convince anybody that tarot's real. I mean, tarot is what it is, right? But I would prefer for you guys to see me lay the cards. So sometimes let's see how it goes. Maybe you can tell me what you guys think. Do you agree with that? Or do you not care and you're happy with me just blamming them right in the camera for you? So let me know in the comments. But anyways, will Clarence Thomas retire? So what is this? The Nine of Swords, right? All right. Anxiety, sleepless nights. He's feeling the pressure. He's got a lot on his mind. He's got a lot of problems that he's thinking about. We might not know even yet what all these swords are. I'm sure Ginny's emails to Mark Meadows is a few of them, right? Some of those wackadoodle decisions he's made, or, you know, the case where he was a lone dissent in whether Congress should get Trump's records for oversight purposes. He's the only one that said no. Even Kavanaugh and Coney Barrett said yes. So these got a lot of pressures, a lot of accusations, a lot of worries, a lot of concerns, keeping him up at night, maybe taking a toll on his health, possibly. Here's his challenge with the Hanging Man. So yeah, he's kind of on his back foot, taking a pause. Maybe he is using this time in the hospital and maybe a few days after that to think about what he wants to do, how he wants to move forward. This indicates that he is changing his strategy or his way of thinking, right? Thinking about things in a new way. Before, like these talking heads said, no way he would leave. Well, things are a little serious now with his wife possibly being called up to testify to the January 6th committee, right? They're really thinking about bringing her in. So yeah, he might have to think about it a little differently, weigh some different outcomes. You know, if I stay, if I go, I didn't want to, but maybe I should, right? So again, he's taking a step back, rethinking before he moves forward. The outcome here with the Nine of Wands. So this is definitely a defensive stance. He's defending himself. He's in battle. People are coming at him. He is in battle, you guys, but look at this soldier. He's digging in. He's digging in. So as much as I'd say I would love to see him go. Now, he is kneecapped, okay? He's brought down low. He's on his knees, or a knee here. But yeah, he's digging in. So I'm going to go on a limb and take a guess here that Clarence Thomas is not going to throw in the towel. He is embattled. He has been hobbled. He's weak. He's in self-defense mode here. But this card here, to me, means he's digging in. He's doubling down. He's getting ready to really put up that final level of self-defense. So I'm not saying in the very end he might not go, but as of now, the energy now is no. Now, maybe if the January 6th commission or committee does call her in to testify, once she does that, maybe some things will come out that will change his mind. But right now, regardless of how worried and concerned and he is, and the accusations, and yeah, he's thinking about it. He's not feeling good. He's thinking maybe now's the time. Ooh, he just can't give it up. He just can't give it up, you guys. So that's what I got for Clarence Thomas. All right, I've already spent a lot of time on him, so let me see if I can hurry up with these other two questions I wanted to ask. Okay, Roman Abramovich, one of Putin's rich oligarchs, apparently Ukrainians reached out to him and asked him, hold on, my cat. Anyways, so apparently Ukrainians reached out to him to be an intermediary between them and Russia or Putin, right? So they asked for Abramovich to be part of the negotiation of, hopefully ending this war. So they all went to, I want to say Turkey. Was it Turkey, to meet and discuss? And the three of them, Roman Abramovich, along with two unnamed Ukrainians, came down with possible symptoms of poisoning. Red eyes, itchy skin, blah, blah, blah. They all turned out okay. So it wasn't lethal. They don't know if it was intended to be lethal and didn't work, or if it was just a warning. But, who do we know that loves to poison people, huh? Who do we know that loves to poison people? Now, if he used that, if Putin's got this favorite poison, what is it? It was just in my head and now it flew out. So it wasn't the normal poison that they keep tying back to Putin in Russia. But yes, so they were they poisoned? That's what we're asking. Were these three men poisoned? Were they poisoned? And were they poisoned by Russia? If you can give us some indication if these three men were poisoned. Did Putin poison them? All right, let's take a quick look. Just do a quick on this one. Okay. So, Page of Wands, I'm going to say this is, I'm going to bring it back up. I'm going to say the Page of Wands are these three men doing their negotiating. Okay, it's all about the communication, right? So the negotiating, the, oh God, these words fly out of my brain when I want to use them. Anyways, so this is them coming together, talking to each other, trying to negotiate, trying to go for some diplomacy here. Abramovich, kind of a lower level, he's not a diplomat, so he's, not kind of a head honcho here, but he was trying to do his duty, I guess, and help and join these negotiations, okay? The challenge is the lovers. Ooh, so I think this is his connection to Putin. He's an oligarch, right? You got to toe the line or else your lover's going to be very upset with you. So this is, who's Abramovich in bed with? Putin. So this is his challenge. So Putin was not so happy either with him doing it at all, or perhaps his performance. Maybe he was too sympathetic with Ukrainians. But this obviously would have needed some planning. So maybe he just didn't like the fact that he was there doing it at all. So Daddy Putin did not like that. That's a challenge. And the outcome, I'm telling you, when I see these cups, that to me is poison, okay? So yes, I think given, the image on this card, there was poison. Now, one of the men did say, he didn't really eat or drink much, except a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of a beverage. Maybe it was in the chocolate, maybe it was in the beverage, I don't know. But this is something that's been coming to me now. These cups, An offered cup. Hey, drink out of this. Why don't you? So I'm going to say yes. Of course, they were poisoned. Was it Putin, though? Was it Putin? Was Putin responsible? Did Putin directly, just a little yes or no. Let's see if we can get a yes or no out of here. Did Putin directly demand this action, right? Did he request this action? Was this his doing, his direct order? Was this Putin's doing? Putin do this? I don't think that any of his generals or anybody under him would have done it without his direct. I mean, it's kind of a silly question, right? Of course it would have been Putin. So was it Putin? Was it Putin? Did Putin direct that poisoning? So I'm pulling the Six of Pentacles here. So not a direct yes or no card. So it does have to do with money changing hands, payoffs, bribes, and judgment. Okay, judgment, which can very much be associated with the ultimate judgment, right? When you die and you meet your maker, the scales are weighed. So I'm going to say that, yes, someone was paid. Someone was paid to attempt to exact that judgment on those three men. So, you know, I'm going to say, yeah, of course it was Putin, because nobody else would have dared. So let's do the last reading today. I don't want to keep you guys too long. Belarus, they lobbed a missile into Ukraine. Is Belarus in this war? Is Belarus going to be more fully entering this war beyond lobbing one missile over, right? Is Belarus entering this war? Is Putin pulling those strings, Lukashenko's strings, like a puppet, making him do it? Because last I heard, Lukashenko didn't want to give up his treasure or Belarusian blood to enter this war. He said no, even though everybody knows Putin wants him to. And now they've lobbed a missile in Ukraine. But you know, Putin does these little false flags, right? So did Russia lob a missile and make it seem like it was coming from Belarus? That's a possibility, right? It could have been a false flag from Russia. Okay, is Belarus going to enter this war? Is Belarus going to enter this war? Well, here, bring it down. Is Belarus going to enter this war? All right, Belarus. Okay. No, you can't see all these. But let me bring you back up. Okay. So, very interesting. The first card we're getting here is the Six of Swords. So, ooh, you know, I'm just getting this feeling that arms, weapons, missiles, there was some transport of some weaponry across borders, possibly over water, under the cover of darkness. So, yeah, I think there's been weaponry moved around, maybe from Russia into Belarus. You know, maybe they gave Belarus that missile, or maybe Russia went into Belarus kind of under the cover to see what they can do from that country. There's some movement here. There's some movement of these weapons across borders, possibly across water, and it's secret, okay? It's not under the light of day. This is under the cover of darkness. So there's something shady going on right here. There's something shady. The challenge is Belarus entering this war. The challenge here is the Knight of Wands. So the feeling I'm getting here is, yeah, you know, Ukraine's on fire, right? I mean, ooh, havoc, bombastic, warfare, the whole shebang, all the ugliness and the ugliness and that energy of war, right? And this night, I'm feeling this is the slowest moving, not the slowest moving knight in the deck, but with this card, this is a knight who's just kind of tired, doesn't want to battle anymore, wants to go home to his family. It's like, can't this be over? Can't we just end this? Yeah, maybe I'll show up. I'm going to take my sweet ass time, right? So with this kind of challenge, this is reinforcing to me that while Belarus might be called in to insert themselves in this war by Putin and Russia, they just don't wanna. So violent, so much bloodshed, so much destruction. Ooh, they just don't want to. So they might take their sweet ass time following Putin's orders or entering this war. Maybe, in fact, they took too much time, which is why Putin had to maybe make some arrangements. It's kind of what I'm getting here. Because, I don't think they really wanted to. They didn't want to engage. What's in the sky above them? What are they going to have to face? We have the Nine of Cups. So I think this is Russia's patronage of Belarus, right? So Lukashenko is a Russian puppet. Putin put him in place. He's totally at Putin's butt. So it needs to move and act at Putin's direction. And so why would they do that? Because Russia and Putin loads them up with all the riches, all the money, right? Make no mistake, Lukashenko's filthy rich, lives in mansions, lives in palaces, the big wealth, right? With the super yachts the whole thing. So I guess what I'm wrapping up to say here is that Putin's been paying this guy's bill for a long time, setting him up with the big money. He's a puppet, and he is beholden to Putin. Everything he has, Putin gave him. So he needs to follow his orders, and that is what he's going to have to come face to face with. Maybe he has already. When Putin says jump, you jump, okay? And that's what Putin is saying. But he don't want to. So underneath, what's foundational to this question is the Hanging Man. So again, instead of going into action, Lukashenko and Belarus taking a step back. Maybe we need to take a little break, rethink our strategy, look at things a little bit differently than they have in the past, make some different choices. But this is a lack of movement. This is kind of being stalled out, delayed, stopped, or stopping from choice to rethink. And that's foundational to this. In the past, we have the Eight of Pentacles. This is, very productively working away at whatever they are working at for economic gains, for their economy. So I think in the past, Lukashenko and Belarus has been very busily manifesting work for themselves, for Russia. They did that work in the past. Coming into the future, though, with the Page of Wands, here's that communicator again, making some kind of an announcement. This could be, dealing with the media, press releases, news articles, what's going on in the news, big announcements, right? For Belarus. So I'm going to walk out on another little limb here and say what this reading seems to be telling me is that Russia wanted Belarus to join this war and wage war against Ukraine alongside Russia. And, Putin thought, sure, that was going to happen. They let him crossed their borders into Ukraine. He was able to stage some attack from Belarus, right, across the borders and so forth. He thought Belarus was down. Surprise, because they've always been in the past. Lukashenko's a puppet. But surprise, they hesitated. Maybe a little pushback. They didn't want to. They delayed. They weren't as quick about it as Putin wanted. So as a result, Putin had to take his own steps, make his own measures to force Belarus's hand, either force their hand or stage that false flag, send something out from Belarus. Maybe that Russian troops did from the Belarusian, from their country, from their land. And Belarus might start screaming about it. Hey, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. It might have come from, maybe that missile was lobbed from Belarus, but it wasn't our missile. Russia brought it over. Putin did it himself, or Russian troops or whatever. I think they're going to start making announcements, making statements to the media about this scenario. So I'm calling this as a Russian false flag event to force Belarus into Ukraine because they don't want to do it. And that's what I'm getting, okay, you guys? So we'll see how this really pans out. And that's it for me today. So thank you so much for visiting my channel. If you like it, please hit like. If you'd like, I'd love for you to subscribe. That would really help my channel out. Otherwise, be safe out there. Be kind to everyone. Keep Ukraine in your hearts. And I'll see y'all in a couple more days, okay? Bye, everybody.